Hello, everybody. It's very super nice to welcome you in Pontevedra for the third edition of the ITU Multisport World Championship. And as the Duathlon event, you will open the stage of this two-week period full of sport and triathlon and so on. I introduce you to Jorge Garcia. Jorge Garcia is the co-organizer, the co-event director for the festival.
Hello, Stefan. Welcome to everybody. Welcome to all the athletes and team managers to Pontevedra. The city is getting ready to host this third edition of the Multisport World Championship. And with me is Stefan, one of the technical delegates for the event, and we will proceed with the athletes briefing.
So we will follow the agenda that you see on the screen. We don't need to go through in detail everything, and if you have, for example, if you need more time to read on the slides, don't forget to just play on the don't forget to pause the video and to read carefully and at a slower pace the slides if needed. So the agenda is the following: we go through some introductions, we look at the competition jury, then we go through the schedule, check-in procedures, then we'll have some information about the course, and then finally at the post-race procedure and a guess on the weather forecast. A few names that you need to know maybe is that the referee for the age group standard, the head referee for the age group standard is Linky Lundine, and Ross Capel from New Zealand will be the head referee for the age group sprint. There's maybe a few people that needs to be mentioned as well on your side.
Yes, from our side, I want to welcome, among with myself, Jaime Agulló, the sports director of the city, and the other co-event director, plus Miguel Fernandez, the press director of the event.
Other people that we need to inform you about are the people that are forming the competition jury in case you are making an appeal. So I will be the chair of the competition jury if necessary. Then we'll have Gonzalo Triunfo from the Spanish Federation, and the ITU representative would be Jean Cour. On the schedule, there is nothing that has changed compared to what we shared with you in the athlete's guide. I just maybe would like to remind you that on Friday, 26 April, there is a mandatory bike shed for both events, the sprint, the standard, as well as for the open wave. But please know that all the bikes need to be in between 3 o'clock and 5:30 in the afternoon.
And don't forget that on Friday is the opening ceremony for the festival. And after the ceremony, you will have the pasta party with music, and I'm pretty sure that you will have fun during the afternoon.
On race day, the sprint transition area will open at 6:15 to 7:45. Here again, I repeat, there is no bike check-in on race day. And then we will have the first wave starting at 8 o'clock through 9:08, 9 o'clock and 8 minutes. Just look at the screens, note your start time, and make sure to proceed to the pre-start area at least 15 minutes before the start. Bike checkout will be 11:15 to 12:30 for the sprint event. For the standard, from 2 o'clock to 3:45, we will have the transition check-in for that event, and again, no bike check-in. And we will have the first wave, starting at 4 p.m. and the last one at 4:15. Same process, just make sure to present yourself on time in the pre-start area so that you can be there and start. The bike checkout will be, of course, later from 8:45 to 10:30. Important times that you need to take note are the cutoff times. For the sprint distance, there will be a bike cutoff time at 11 and a run cutoff time at 11:25. So if you are not at the points where we apply the cutoff time, you will not be able to proceed further on the run course. For the standard distance, the bike cutoff is at 8:30 and the run cutoff is at 9:30. And after those time, all athletes will be off the course. Sorry. The final element about the schedule is for Sunday, basically it's the medal ceremony. We will start for the standard at 7:20 and we will end with the sprint distance at 8:05.
Yeah. So now moving on with the points of interest for the duathlon, all of you need to consider two main points. One is the performance center, the stadium, and next to it is the university pavilion. So at the stadium is the main venue where the start and the finish plus the transition area is allocated. And next to it, at the university pavilion, is the changing rooms, recovery area, cloak room, etc. The other point of interest is the city center, in front of the city town hall, where you can find the expo area and the registration place. So on Friday 26, the Parade of Nations will start at 5:30. We encourage to be ready by 5 o'clock. And from there, you will start the parade until the main stage, where the opening ceremony will take place. And then immediately after, the pasta party will start. And as I mentioned before, there will be music and more activities around this activity. In the map, you can see where the Parade of Nations start and the meeting point, that is called Plaza Ferreria. There is a nice walk through the city center in order to arrive in front of the city town hall for the ceremony. Talking about the registration process, as I mentioned before, it's at the expo area. It's a big tent, fully covered. You must register in person, so it's not allowed to be registered by another person. You need to be present with a passport, driver license, or an ID card. And it's extremely important that the athlete waiver that is in the athlete's guide, and also there will be at the expo spare waivers, is mandatory to give it to the volunteers fully covered and signed in order to receive the athlete's package. What you are going to receive in the envelope: the bib number, body decals. You will have two for both arms, so keep this into consideration, plus another tattoo that is with the age group category to put at the back of one of your calf. The stickers, as usual, 3 for the helmet, 1 for the saddle post, and 1 for the bag to be deposited at the backdrop area that is at the university pavilion. And what is important, as you can see in the picture, the wristband, there is a color code for all the events, and obviously it's different for a sprint than for a standard and for the rest of the races during the week. Also, you will receive the voucher for the pasta party that includes food plus 1 drink.
Then we will proceed with the bike check-in procedures on Friday from 3 to 5:30. This taking place at the High Performance Center. And I remind yourself, this is mandatory. So all people have to check in their bikes the day on Friday. What you bring, you need to bring, of course, your bike, your helmet. And if you want to bring already any nutrition or liquid, you can leave them on the transition on your bike. That's fine, but you will also be able to access to your bike, of course, on race day. For the bike check, we will make sure that you have the bars, the handlebars that are legal. We will look at the frames, the wheels, and make sure also to already place your stickers, your bike stickers on the bike, so that it's not done and it doesn't create congestion at the check-in gates. And for the helmets, we will just check that there is no cracks, and maybe already put your helmets on your head when you're coming to the gates, and also put the stickers in front and on both sides of the helmet so that you are ready. Just something that maybe you need to note is that the timing chip will not be in your package that you receive at the registration, but the timing chip will be distributed when you go out of the bike check-in process. So if we make the flow, you will come from, if you want, the north of the High Performance Center. Through the gates, the standard will occupy the upper part of the zone, the sprint distance will occupy the lower part, and then you go out towards the same exit if you want, and that's where you will receive your timing chip. Again, for the bike check, I'm not going to go through that, but basically there is no clip-on handlebar on your handlebars. Basically, there's no clip-ons, and it's only traditional handlebar. There is no disc wheel. You must follow the rules for the wheels that you can find on the IQ competition rule. This is for sprint only, of course. This is not, as you can see on the title of the slide, this applies only for the sprint distance and not for the standard. Transition check-in procedures. So on the race day, you will come for the sprint from 6:15 to 7:45, and for the standard from 2 to 3:45. Same place, transition area at the High Performance Center. We will make sure and we will check your body markings, the uniforms, and also we will make sure that you enter in the transition with your timing chips. Okay.
One thing to consider is that during this last minute check-in at the transition area, for the standard race, the leads are competing, so probably you will be a little bit delayed in order to access to the transition area. So please be patient, because we need to respect the elites competing at the stadium, and the laps of the bike and the run for the elites are going through the stadium.
Maybe also some clarification about what we allow as an equipment. So maybe you've read in the athlete's guide that due to the weather condition, we will allow the athletes to race with short-sleeved uniforms from their national federations, of course. Okay. If you wish to wear a long-sleeve shirt under your uniform, that is possible as well, but you must wear it for the entire event. Plain arm warmers, so arm warmers without logos can be worn as well, but you need to keep those with you or remove them only into the transition. And if you want to wear like a jacket on top of your uniform, this is fine as long as this jacket is transparent or follow the design and the kit of your national federation.
So, yes,
maybe I'm just going to continue with the flow.
Yeah.
Oh no, you want to do it then.
On race day, it's important to follow the flow. So the first thing to do is to do the last minute check-in at the transition area. Check your equipment, check your bike. There will be pumps available in case you need to check your wheels. And once you do this, please go back to the university pavilion in order to leave your bag. Because when you finish your race, the recovery area, the changing rooms, etc., will be allocated there. So as you see in the animation, please use this flow in order to make this easy for everyone. You can see as well the pre-start area is located on one side of the transition area, and from there we will start with to call you for the different calling areas according to the waves, and then we will move you directly to the start area. So, as usual, there is no warm-up area once you are on the lineup. There will be 3 waiting areas next to the transition, and the process is the traditional process that you follow for all the events. Just remember that there will be toilets at the transition area, so in case you have a last-minute emergency, you can go there, and you will proceed through a timing map before the start area, in order to ensure that you are starting with the proper wave. Once you are in position, the technical delegate and the head referee will say your mark, and with the horn, the race will start, and you will start to have fun for 1 or 2 hours at least. In case we have false start, not usual for the duathlon events, obviously we will have to start again, and everyone goes back to the position. So talking about courses, for the sprint, the first run is 2 laps of 2.5 kilometers. The bike is only 1 lap. It's quite simple and quite easy, and the second run is 1 lap. For the standard, remember that this is a different run course from the sprint. So the first run is 4 laps of 2.5. The bike is only 1 lap, 36.2 kilometers, and the second run is 2 laps of 2.5. So
remind yourself about the laps: 2-1-1 and 4-1-2 for standard.
These maps are available at the website and also at the Athlete's Guide, are the illustrated versions. So we strongly recommend to have a look. And also you can download all the tracks for the different GPS formats. So you can see the different allocations of the different aid stations, penalty boxes for the standard, etc.
So with the first run for the sprint distance, as Jorge already mentioned, it's going to be 2 laps for a total distance of 5K. Okay, there will be 2 aid stations per lap, and we'll just look at the maps later on to find out where it is exactly. That will distribute water. Okay, just remind also yourself about the littering area. You need to discard your cups and gels or whatever within the littering areas, which are shown with the following sign that you can see. And we also remind you that for the run, the bib number are mandatory, so you must wear your numbers on the front. This is the animation for the sprint of the run course. So you will start and then do a clockwise lap in the city. And you will, so just again, the first aid station that will not be active for the first lap will be right after the corner around the high performance center. Then this is the location of the second aid station and littering zone. And the lap for the first run will be on the track of the high performance center. And then you go out again for the first lap, for the second lap. For the run course 1 for the standard distance, this is 4 laps of 2.5K, same aid station, same process with regards to discarding your cups within the littering area zone, and also the bib number mandatory. So if we look at the animation, same start point, a longer lap in the city. And something you have to note is that this is not the same U-turn as for the sprint distance. So the start is here, aid station, right after the corner of the high performance. Aid station number 2, same position than for the sprint one. But the lap turn is really in front of the entrance of the high performance center. And you only go to the transition after the 4th lap to go to pick up your bike and go on the run.
It's important that the city is ready for you, and you are going to run through the city center and the historical part of the city. There will be lots of spectators around, so please enjoy and have fun on the run, because it will be really amazing. Once you finish the run, you will get into the transition area. There will be traditional bike racks. You will have orientation boards at the beginning of the rows, and also your position will be with laminated boards with your name and your category and bib number. So everything will be clearly identified. Remember that you will have boxes inside the transition area, and you need to put everything that has been used inside the transition area. The mount line will be on the road. It will be green color, and the dismount line, as always, red color. We will go with the animation. You will see the flow. It's really simple. You can see as well the orientation boards and arrows that we have placed, and how the flow is really simple. There are no doubts on how you need to proceed through the transition area. Again, if you need to access to the toilets, they are available in the next to the transition area, so you can go there before taking your bike.
And now you're on the bike. So for the sprint, the bike course is made of 1 lap for total distance of 20K. Okay, this is a draft legal event, but we ask you anyway to ride on the right side and pass on the left for course security reason. Do not try to be on the middle of the road, okay? Because there is an opposite flow. People are, this is a back and forth section all the time. So just make sure to not go on the other side of the road. And if you want to pass an athlete, warn them as well that you are coming from in the back. You don't need to wear your bib number on the bike. It's optional. It's only mandatory for the run segments. And there will be 1 penalty box that we will show you on the map later on. For the sprint, basically you might be shown with a yellow card for blocking, littering, or dangerous riding. If you get this, you must stop at the next penalty box at the end of the lap to serve a 10-second penalty. If you do not serve that penalty, if you do not stop, you will be disqualified. That's your responsibility to stop. Okay. And of course, there is a littering area attached with each of the penalty box on the course. We go through an animation of the course. So as I mentioned, it's a back and forth sections going up and down. And then you enter into the transition area on the stadium. Maybe a couple points to highlight. So this is the roundabout just after the bridge that you need to pay attention because it could be a bit slippery depending on the weather. The U-turns at the bottom, and when you cross the river on the way back, you have quite a tight left turn to take the pass, which is along the river. And the penalty box will be on your left-hand side as soon as the turn is done. So just the red point that you see on the map basically is the location of the penalty box. For the standard, this is one lap of 36K. This is a bit hilly with like a total elevation per lap of approximately 700 meters. This is a draft illegal event. Same process as we described for the sprint distance. You ride your bike on the right side of the road, you pass by the left, you do not go on the other side because there are opposite flow coming and you want the athletes if you want to pass. There are two penalty boxes. One is at the extremity of the course and the other one is the same that we had for the sprint distance, and we will show you in the map later on. In case you receive a penalty, you might receive a blue card, which is for drafting, or a yellow card, which is for any other bike infringement. If you receive a blue card, you will be stopped 2 minutes for the penalty. And if you receive the yellow card, you will have a 15 seconds penalty at the penalty box.
But we are sure that they are going to respect.
Oh, I'm sure, yes.
And we will have a fair race, and the technical officers are not going to show blue cards.
That's not our goal, so we're sure that you're going to behave accordingly, guys. Just maybe also to mention that if you have 2 accumulated drafting time penalties, that is disqualification. That is a disqualification. Bike course animation. So
just to mention that the bike course is different from the sprint one. There is a different section in order to get this only one lap. That with this we achieve a fair course for all the athletes with only one lap. So there will be no overlap athletes in the course, and in terms of drafting control, it will be much more easier.
And maybe also to mention that the course are fully secured, and there will be no cars on the course.
The courses are totally secured by private companies and the police of the city and the region, and it will be totally and 100% secure.
This is where you will find the aid station number 1 with its littering area just before turning right and go up the hill. And the U-turn after the U-turn at the bottom of the course, you will have the second aid station and littering area.
What is important is also to both courses, especially the standard, are quite technical. These are the traditional roads in the northwest of Spain. So we are looking for challenging courses, and I'm sure that we will have fun with these courses. Probably the ones that competed in the Duathlon World Championships in 2014 and the Europeans in 2011, the sprint course is exactly the same, and the athletes loved it a lot.
So if we just draw your attention to some points. The same roundabout, of course, at the exit after the bridge. Then there is a winding section in the university complex. Maybe also pay attention to the corner bringing you back to the highway, which could be quite tricky because it's a very tight turn. Then there is an up and downhill sections at the roundabouts that you can see highlighted on the screen. The penalty box, the first penalty box will be at the U-turn at the extremity of the course, as I mentioned. So you will see that U-turn from far away. It is like a 200-meter stretch, but it's a slightly in downhill section. So make sure to monitor your speed when you get towards that area. This will be the positions of the 2 aid stations. And then when you get back in the city, you will have, when you cross the river, you will turn right, you do a U-turn at the end of a straight segment, and you will come on the same path, on the same road, and the penalty box that we mentioned will be there on your left-hand side.
Just before getting into the transition area to finish the bike.
Exactly. And at the end of the lap, you proceed to the transition. Just also maybe note that within the city, there are quite numerous speed bumps throughout. So this is, of course, pay attention. They're all marked on the ground and everything. There will be sign as well on the side of the road announcing that to you. But just make sure that to be careful about that.
Yeah, they are not dangerous, just to keep an eye.
Yeah.
But the asphalt is in perfect conditions and there is no chance to be into a, let's say, danger situation.
A reminder about the draft zone, which is 10 meters, as you can see, 10 meters from the front wheel of the athlete that is in front of you, and that's approximately the length of 5 bikes,
yes,
more or less. Okay.
And the next slide is the distance with the vehicles, motorbikes and cars. But in this case, we are not going to have cars inside the course for this standard distance event. And the motorbikes that you can find are the technical officials and the media motorbikes. Also, just for you to be aware of, there will be 5 doctors in motorbikes, just in case there is any issue on the course and someone needs medical attention. So the first attention will come from the doctors moving around the course with a motorbike.
The next 4 slides are presenting some rules. I'm not going to read through them. I just leave you some times and pause the video to read them. It's about the drafting rule. It's about the overtaking, what we mean by overtaking. It's about the blocking rule as well. And it's about what you have to do when you get to the penalty box. But as we said before, they are not going to the penalty box because there will be a fair race.
The technical officials at the penalty boxes will be relaxed. We are pretty sure about this.
Finally, if you see a red flag and somebody whistling on the side of the road, that means that there is a danger ahead and you need to slow down to prevent having another accident or another issue on the course.
So moving back from the bike, as we come into transition 2, the flow, as you can see, is totally fair from what we had with the first transition. So you will leave the bike and you will start the run on the track. You can see the animation and how you start the run, and we proceed for the second run for the different races.
And the second run of the sprint is like exactly the same. Okay, just remind you to be to wear your bib number in front. There's no difference except that when you finish, you go to the finish chute and to proceed to the finish with a U-turn at the end. Okay.
For the standard, it's exactly the same, but with 2 laps. And the turning point is again outside the stadium. So after the second turn, you move straight forward to the finish chute, and you finish your race. Just at the finish, once you finish the race, you will get your finisher medal and the finisher T-shirt that you have is your recognition to finish this World Championship, and you pass through the first recovery area that is inside the Performance Center, and the second one, as I mentioned before, is at the University Pavilion. There you can get changed, you can take a shower, etc. Remember the bike checkout times for the sprint in between 11:15 and 12:30, and for the standard 8:45 and 10:30. And this is extremely important. The timing chip is mandatory in order to take out your bike. So without no timing chip, there is no checkout. This is the flow. As you can see, you finish the race, go to the University Pavilion, and then for the checkout, you come again inside the transition area, and you take out your bike in order to go and have a good rest that was well deserved. Regarding medical procedures, it's important for you to know that all of you, as we have contracted a personal insurance for this event, so in case any medical attention, you will be transferred to the Quirón Salud Miguel Domínguez Hospital, that is 10 minutes walking from the high performance center. This is important in order for you to have this information. At the post-finish area, only the National Federation accredited doctor is allowed to be in that area. Regarding results, there will be live results of all the events and will be released at the Pontevedra 2019 official website. The World Ceremonies, it will be a big party with Orquesta Panorama. I know that many of you have competed in 2014 and you remember the big party. And this big party will be immediately after the medal ceremonies. That will start at 17:20 for the standard and from 8:05 for the sprint. Remember that 15 minutes before the ceremony, be on time on the side of the stage in order to be ready for the ceremonies and not delay your special moment. Something to add regarding results and ceremonies, nothing additional. Just remember that children are not allowed at the podium. Remember to wear your, please, your official uniform. And if you cannot attend the medal ceremony, your team manager will be in charge in order to collect your medal. And this big party will take place at Pazo da Cultura on the big area that is on the top of this building. And you just cross the bridges into the other side of the river, and you will discover it. We don't have to mark it because the big scenario that will be ready for the concert is visible from everywhere.
Maybe one thing before we close up the briefing, you will be able to download your race certificate at the following address. So just make sure to visit that link and to download your certificates. The briefing will be available at the following address too. And there will be like a Q&A sessions. If you go back into the schedule, there is a Q&A session where you can come and meet the technical officials and the race referee and ask questions after having viewed that briefing online. Finally, predicting the unpredictable, the weather forecast. I mean, everything happens, but
days. I'm sure that
it's supposed to improve as of Friday, so we're sure that it will be a great day for you.
Remember, as I said in the beginning, we are in the northwest of Spain. Green area, rains frequently during the year, but if the rain is coming, don't get frustrated. This is our place, and Pontevedra is a place where during the year rains many times, and this is why we have this green landscape.
That's it. Good luck, enjoy, have fun, and we look forward to seeing you on Saturday for the race day. Bye bye.
Bye bye.